So, Dr.
Yeah.
Keener, we're just going to dive right in. I have some questions for you. Then I'm going to pass the torch over to Lewis, and he's going to ask some questions of his own. So, the first that I wanted to ask you about is, the transmission of the New Testament and matters related to textual variants. So, we have over 5,000 Greek manuscripts of the New Testament. Now, what do you see as the most significant textual variations or variants? And what can they tell us about the reliability of the transmission process of the New Testament?
Sure. In terms of the most significant, it depends on what we're looking at, but the largest ones we have are John 7:53 through 8:11 and Mark 16:9 through 20. And in both cases, we have a consensus among scholars just based on which manuscripts are earliest. I mean, that was always important, but now we have access to a lot more ability to date them than we did a century or two ago. And anyway, Mark 16:9 through 20 tells us more about the church probably in the early 2nd century. It can't be late 2nd century because it's already accepted by Irenaeus in the late 2nd century. But I think it was added, by scribes or whoever in a very innocent way. I don't think it was like something bad. It was like, well, look, Gospels, all the other Gospels end with the resurrection appearances, and that's what a Gospel should do. And therefore, this must have been cut off. So they kind of added from the rest of the resurrection appearances, from the rest of the Gospels, they added kind of a summary of that. It's not Mark's style. It's not in the earliest manuscripts. And I think they just did that. Mark is likely the earliest gospel, and so it made sense that Mark didn't have to follow any pattern of the way you're supposed to write a gospel because nobody had written one before. In the case of John 7:53 through 8:11, you've also got, it mentions scribes, which don't appear elsewhere in John's gospel. But it's probably a true story. I mean, it coheres with the character of Jesus. It just, they needed to put it somewhere, and it probably implies Jesus' deity with the writing on the ground, maybe an allusion to Moses, or to God writing the law. Or in any case, the material in both of them coheres with the nature of Jesus, but probably not in the earliest manuscripts. So it shows us that sometimes things got added, things got moved around. But on the whole, I mean, even most of our variants are minor. Most of them are spelling differences, things like that. But on the whole, it doesn't change the character or the message in any way.
Hey, if you enjoyed that video, go ahead and hit the subscribe button and the like button. And also consider supporting me on Patreon, patreon.com/Reason and Theology.